Hi guys, today's Monday the 15th of July 2019 and I'm going to go through a technical analysis breakdown of some UK and US stocks. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to ask you to do next, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and hit that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've got Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at the Noctrader on all social media platforms, and if you check the description section below you'll see a link to my mailing list. If you join my mailing list you get priority access to my free training course that I'm creating for beginner traders, and there's also a link to my chat room called Pip Talk where traders and investors can talk about anything and everything to do related to trading and investing. Join that Discord group. Okay, let's get straight into it. So I got four European stocks I say, and 3 US stocks I want to cover today. First one is Anglo American, which is the UK stock. This is an ascending channel pattern. That's kind of, as you can see here on the daily chart, it's an ascending channel pattern. I drew this line, this middle support and resistance time ago, and it's now rebounding off of it again. It's hit this line before, and now this line is taking importance again today. Well, not today, but recently, because I could have easily shorted it and thought it would have gone all the way down here, but it's kind of ricocheted off of this line, and it looks like it's going to climb back up. Reason why I say that is because the MACD and RSI have both started curving up in the other direction, so I wouldn't be surprised if price starts climbing up to the resistance line and just carrying on making a bullish move. The 180-day simple moving average is curving up. It is on an ascending channel pattern anyway, and on the weekly chart you can see that price could potentially carry on going up. It's been going up for quite some time. For the most part the whole market has decided to do a kind of reversal, which is why, actually, before I go into the next one, AHT, the one that I was in before, I exited my position for a measly 17 pounds, which is kind of annoying, but it's because I saw that on the I brought my stop loss down a bit too close. I may be wrong in what happened here, but I brought my stop loss down a little bit too close, and it time stopped me out. So I might re-enter this because I still think it might be shorted, but I made the mistake. Well, not mistake, but I was being a bit too cautious, and the minute I brought my stop loss down, and then it hit it, and to put me in a position where I was at £17 profit. The reason I brought my stop loss down was because I had this line here that I was that I considered a kind of important line, and it is, and it broke above it, and I set my stop loss just above this line. So this line was supposed to be where I would see, if it broke it, I'd see that it broke in pattern. So it might have still broken pattern, it might start climbing again, so I'm not sure whether to carry to leave it, but I want to see it go down below this line before I think about re-entering, because this line of support was of resistance was what I used to enter, and I didn't want it to break out of it. I thought it was going to hit it and come back down, but it broke above it. So I lost. I came out from 17. I was up about quite a lot before, but now I came out at £17. So, but profit is profit. On to the next one. Next one is Boohoo, which was called out by Demola. Thanks, Dems, for calling it out. Both Boohoo and ASOS I've been following for some time, and this is what I was talking about when I said the whole market's reversing. All of the positions that were initially shorts have seemed to change direction, and what that tells me is that there's a reversal in the market, and I think the reason behind that is because the Fed have kind of agreed to the fact that they're going to cut interest rates soon. So that's kind of given the market a boost, the US market a boost. But as we know, when America coughs, Europe sneezes. So the fact that it stimulated the American market, I think, has had a positive knock-on effect to the European market, which is why all of these bearish stocks are starting to reverse and show bullish signs. And the same has happened here with Boohoo. I saw that it was a short position here. I called this out a while back, and it's been selling off ever since. And now it's hit the 180-day simple moving average on the daily chart, and it looks like it's reversing. So what I'd say is this would be a good position to take a long position on. You can set the stop loss just below the 180-day simple moving average, which would be about £198, and you could just go long and just ride it all the way to the top. So that would mean you could potentially make 34 pips and you'd be risking 13. So that's a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and that sounds real good to me. That's something that I'd say is a good risk to take. The MACD and RSI both curve in and show signs that they're moving upwards. This is exactly what I like to see from the MACD. It's like a steep gradient curving upwards, changing into positive territory, and the same for the RSI. So that's something really good. Last time it did that here, you saw that fly up. Last time it did that here, you saw it fly up. So you can see that there's a whenever the MACD and RSI is curving up at a steep gradient, you can expect really big movements to the upside. So I expect that again for this one. If I want to go, let me see if I can plot a line here. Nah, that doesn't really do anything. I thought there might be some sort of support line here, but nah. Anyway, so that's Boohoo. Next one I'm going to is DAX. So you know DAX is not actually a UK stock. It's a Europe. It's the German indices. It's German top 30 German stocks index. DAX 30. So straight away, there's so many lines on DAX because I'm always plotting lines on this because it's one of my favorite patterns to kind of look at. Now the DAX, it looks like it's made a reversal, and I actually entered a long position on DAX on Friday, but I set my stop loss too tight and it stopped me out. I made £77, which is good, but I want to re-enter. So I re-entered because I still think there's a bigger move to be made. On the daily chart, the 180-day simple moving average is below price and curving up. This red line is a kind of like a channel support, kind of, because it hasn't stayed true to it for some time, but it's hit it just now. It's hit it recently, and I think this is the time for it to make a bullish run. On the 4-hour chart, this is where things get interesting. You can look even more deeper. The 180-day simple moving average acts as a support line on the 4-hour chart. Sorry about that. Acts as a support line on the 4-hour chart. And you can see price is kind of plateaued here, and now it's starting to make a bullish run. And if you know me, you know I've been trying to work on timing my entry. Made a bit of a faux pas, but at least I know what I did wrong. I didn't really time my entry. I got a bit excited. I timed my first entry right, but the second entry I didn't time right. So if you go down to the 5-minute chart, you can see that this is a descending wedge pattern. Let's go to the 10-minute actually. Actually, I'll go to the 5. So on the 5-minute chart, what we have here is a descending wedge pattern. So I entered pretty much here, and that was not the best entry. I should have waited, held my nerve, waited. I saw this bullish run and I really wanted to re-enter, and I just entered here, but I should have waited because it was showing a descending wedge pattern. And if you look here, this support line at 12303 has been it's hit it several times and it's ricocheted. So I based off of that, I would have known that if it hit this, that's the place to enter. Descending wedge pattern coming down, and then when they hit this support line, that would be the optimal place to enter. I didn't enter here, so I'm still in the red right now, but I know it's going to go back into the green because I believe over the long run it's going to be a bullish run. But yeah, timing my entry is one of my key things I'm trying to work on this year, or the next couple of months. As you can tell, I'm still working on it because I don't always do that. I get excited when I see a position, I just enter straight away. But that's not too much of an issue. But that just means that I've kind of foregone about 100 pips that I could have made as profit, because now it's, by the time I get back there, it would have been broke even. But I could have made that if I'd entered a little bit early, a little bit at a better position. But alas, I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress. But yeah, on the 4-hour chart, I believe that price is going to come up. I don't know how far it's going to come up, but I'm going to set my take profit to something quite conservative, maybe just where it meets 12600 or something like that, around here. So when it becomes level with its previous high here. So I've taken a long position in this, and I've already made £70 from my position on Friday, which was, you can kind of call it a day trade, but it wasn't because it just stopped me out. But I'm in it for the long haul. When I say long haul, I mean maybe a couple of days, but you know, that's long haul for a swing trader. So let's see where DAX goes over the next couple of days. So that's me and wait, actually, what am I talking about? I'm not over yet. I haven't even done my US stocks. US stocks, OC. As it stands on the 4-hour chart, OC looks like I would want to take a long position here, because ascending wedge pattern, ascending triangle pattern, it's broken out, come back down to consolidate on the old resistance as a new support. So the next move to me is that it's going to go up. And I believe, and rule of thumb means that whatever this distance is, which is 1,400 pips, that's how far it's going to go up. So I'd say the take profit would be about here. It's not going to be a direct, a straight move. So it's not going to go up in like a straight form, but it's going to go up to there. That's what I'd say it was going to go up to. So what I'd say is take a long position there and set your stop loss just below this line. And if it hits it, it hits it. But if it carries on going up, then you're in smooth sailing. And this will be a perfectly timed entry if you enter here for a long position. So I'm saying Owens Corning, long position. JetBlue. So I made all these big claims about JetBlue, and I don't know if I want to stand by them now. I thought it was going to go up to $21. But I realized that when you look at the weekly chart, it's really fighting when the 180-day simple moving average. The 180-day simple moving average on the weekly chart is acting as a resistance, and I thought it would.
Alert triggered.
Oops, ignore that. I thought it would break out of it, but it didn't, and it may sell off. It may break out of it, but I'm not sure what it's going to do right now. But on the 4-hour chart, it's still kind of staying true to my little Fibonacci analysis that I made. Wait, let me go to the daily chart actually so you can look at it better. The Fibonacci is still dictating what it does. So right now we're at a pivotal point. I don't know what it's going to do next because it's lost momentum. When it got to here, I thought it was going to break out to $21. It did not do that. So right now, where it is now, I want to either see it break out to the below it or break up. Whatever it decides to do, that's where how I would just dictate what trade to make. But this is a pivotal point. So we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe wait a day or two to see if it gains the momentum it needs to go bullish, or if it starts selling off. But whichever one it does, it's going to be doing it emphatically. So JetBlue is at a key turning point right now. Just have to wait and see for now. And last but not least, I'm covering Snap. Now this one's going to be a bit different. Snap, I'm going to look at it from a weekly chart. I've actually plotted the lines already, but Snap is this is a Snapchat, as we all know. Snapchat hasn't been doing well since IPO. It IPO'd around, I don't know, something about $25, I don't know. And it went all the way down to $5, but now it's come back up again. Here it looks like a reverse head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. So what that tells me is that whenever there's an inverted head and shoulders, once it breaks out of the right shoulder, it's going to be a bullish run. And rule of thumb says that wherever it drops down to from here is where it's going to go up to from here. So what I mean by that is from here to here. Oops. Let me delete that. Okay, so from here to here is about 600 pips. From here to here is about 600 pips. So I believe Snap is going to go all the way to about $20 because the inverted head and shoulders is now carrying on the bullish run. So for those people those long-term traders out there, or maybe your investor, where it's currently at $15 to $20, that's a good 31% growth. So I'd say if you're an investor and you want to hold it not for the long term, but I'd say hold it up to $20. I'd say that would be a good trade just based off my technical analysis. If you want to do some more fundamental analysis, you can look at you can research what the company's doing. I heard that there's a lot of good news coming out about Snap potentially doing a partnership with some phone companies or something like that, or was it I don't know. There's some fundamental news coming out that a partnership that they're going to do is going to push the companies up a little bit. But as you can tell from how I'm talking, I've really read into it. But from the technical standpoint, it looks bullish to me. And if someone wanted to trade this, I'd say as a trade rather than an investment, I'd say buy some futures in it, because you might be holding it for a couple of months, and because you pay overnight fees with spread betting, it will eat a lot into your profit if you just do a normal DFB spread trade. You want to be doing a futures trade for this if you want to go long. But yeah, that's a short video from me, Any, aka the Noctrader, signing out.